A great afternoon to all of you APC fans and also to the viewers right now that is currently watching on our live stream on our official Facebook page. I hope each and every one of you watching right now is alright, as we have been facing numerous challenges in the past few weeks. But let us not be hindered. Let us take this as an opportunity to help those who are in need, and let us not forget that every simple act of kindness that we make can still make a difference to those people. Again, a great afternoon to everyone. Let us just wait for a few minutes before we start our program.
going to be really hard, and you're going to hit a lot of roadblocks. But if you keep and keep on trying, then things will start to look up.
I'd love to see na girls like you will get interested in my job kasi really nice, especially kasi wala pa talaga sa cybersecurity masyado sa Philippines.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with kids jingle belling and everyone
appreciating them for working.
Hi, sir!
Community, we have an event po, Christmas Day Giving. We will po kami ng
Thank you, sir! Thank you po.
Christmas Day Giving. Kasi I'm appreciating, sir, yung ginagawa niyo sa APC.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, sir! Thank you!
APC Microsoft Community po, so we're giving away po free cookies for the APC staff. So we have gratitude now. Merry Christmas po!
Merry Christmas po!
We're from APC Microsoft Community po. An event for Christmas Thanksgiving, we're giving away po free cookies for the APC. So we have gratitude. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas po! Merry Christmas, please!
Thank you. Yes, yes po, miss. Sir,
You're
wow.
welcome po! Merry Christmas po!
So we have an event for Christmas Thanksgiving. We're from APC Microsoft. So we're giving out for free.
Ay, sorry po. Yes po. Miss Cory po kayo. Merry Christmas po.
stories and
Wow, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Miss. Merry Christmas po.
Wala pa yan?
Wala pa. Free po yan, sir. Christmas, sir.
We're from APC Microsoft Community. So we have, meron po kami event Christmas Thanksgiving. So we're giving away free cookies for the APC.
Kaya lang ito dito.
So we have gratitude po. Merry Christmas po! Mga sabi.
Ate, ito, agin mo sila ate.
Guwapo.
Ate, picture po.
We're from APC Microsoft Community po. We have an event Christmas Thanksgiving. So we're giving away the free cookies for the APC staff. As a way of gratitude. So as a way of thank you.
Thank you. Guwapo kayo. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas po.
of Christmas is long, long ago.
So we're giving free cookies po for the Thank you.
Merry Christmas po.
And hearts will be glowing.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, kuya. Hi, ate.
So we're we're from APC Microsoft Community po, so we have a Christmas Thanksgiving. So we'll be giving away po free cookies.
Free cookies po.
So we have gratitude po.
Po kayo.
Merry Christmas po! Dalawa no?
Opo, dalawa po. Salamat po.
Merry Christmas po! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas po!
There'll be
Thank you po.
It's the
Merry Christmas po, kuya.
time. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. Well, it's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Reflect always on what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are.
Thanks for giving us this opportunity. I know we needed to hear from somebody who is not their regular teacher that they get to see on a daily basis here.
Once again, good afternoon to all of you APC Rams and to the viewers of our Facebook live stream. I hope that you had a great lunch as we are very excited to present to you this afternoon the Microsoft 365 Learning Session. This event is presented to you by Asia Pacific College Microsoft Community in collaboration with the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. I am Lemuel Ian Manuel, the current Director for External Relations of APC Microsoft Community, and I will be your host for this afternoon. Before we start this program, may I remind our audiences of the following etiquette to be observed during the program proper. Please turn your microphones on mute when the program is in session for us to prevent any distractions or interruptions to those who are watching. We encourage you to turn on your camera so we may see your great looks in your faces. It is not required as we understand that it may cause any lags to your devices. Kindly dress appropriately when your camera is turned on during the session. Strictly no commenting or chatting of foul or demeaning words on both platforms. And lastly, should you have any questions for our speakers, you may send it through chat or their respective emails after their talks. So just sit back and relax as you learn to utilize your Microsoft applications. So let's get started! Our first speaker this afternoon is currently one of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors of Asia Pacific College. He is taking up the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, specialized in mobile and internet technologies. And he is the bubbly and friendly Director for Membership of APC Microsoft Community. Let us all welcome Mr. Erwin Eloy Buada to give his talk and demonstration on Microsoft Word.
Thank you very much, Lemuel. So, hello everyone, and welcome to your first Microsoft 365 learning session. And for this one, we will be discussing about Microsoft Word. Before we dive into it, allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Irwin Elroy Buada. I am a third year BS Information Technology student at Asia Pacific College. I am a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, and I'm also the Director for Membership at Asia Pacific College Microsoft Community. And lastly, I am a Department of Science and Technology SEI Scholar. At the end of this session, if you have any concerns, questions, or clarifications, you may send me an email to the email addresses shown at the bottom of your screens. So, uh, let us delve in this for a bit. What is Microsoft Word? For the longest time, as a student, Microsoft Word has been helping me to create papers and documents that has helped me in my academic struggles, if you will. So Microsoft Word is a word processor developed by Microsoft, yours truly. And the definition of a word processor, it is a program or machine used for storing, manipulating, and formatting text entered from a keyboard and providing a printout. So just like with the definition, we know that Microsoft Word can basically make a document, and whatever words or letters, characters that we type into it will be shown, and it will provide a printout that we can produce a hard copy of. So here are the topics that we're gonna be discussing for this session. First is how to make a table of contents. Next is how to create a bibliography and how to cite sources. Next is we will be demonstrating how to use the speech detector. Next, after that will be the resume assistant. And lastly, we will be talking about how to add an e-signature to your Microsoft Word documents. During the pace of this discussion, you may uh, follow up with your MS Word devices. And without further ado, let us begin. So as discussed, ang ating first topic will be how to create a table of contents in Microsoft Word. So let's start first by filling up muna with some words or some content itong ating blank document na kagagawa ko lang. So first is sa home section ng iyong ribbon, under styles, I'll click heading 1. So dapat may ganitong klaseng triangle na lalabas sa inyong screen. Then the triangle na yan, so for example, chapter 1, because kapag research paper or book, lagi naman chapter 1, then lalagyan natin siya ng fill content. So kay Microsoft Word, meron actually madaling paraan para magawa mo to. So type nyo lang equals lorem, then open and close parentheses, hit enter, and boom, meron ka ng isang block of text na hindi mo na kailangan mag-copy paste from another source, nor do you need to manually type it. So para lang dito, let's make another heading. So heading 1 ulit, chapter 2. Then, kung ayaw mo naman kay Lorem, meron pa tayo isang option. You could also try equals rand. Umuti ka na. Equals rand. Open and close parentheses and hit enter. So, ibang context naman siya kay Lorem. So, let's now try to make a table of contents. So, to do that, click tayo kay references sa ating ribbon dito sa taas. Click table of contents. Then, for this demonstration, pili lang tayo dito. Usually, kung ako gumagawa ng paper, I'll always choose automatic table 1. So, we'll just do that. And voila! So, lumabas yung chapter mo dito. Chapter 1, chapter 2, lahat daw sa page 1, of course. Siyempre, nagsisika sila dito eh. So, since ang table of contents ay lagi nagbabago, Kasi marami kang dinadagdag or binabawasan or ni-move around sa iyong document file kapag nag edit. So, the next question is how to update it. So, for example, let's move these two chapters to a new page. So, I'm on page 2 now. Then, dito, when you click it, may makita ka update table of contents. Then you have two options, update page numbers only, update entire table. So for this part, we're only gonna update page numbers. So dapat if I click OK, dapat magiging number 2 itong dalawa. So click OK, they become number 2. What if you added more chapters or even a sub-chapter? So to add sub-chapters, let's try that. Balik tayo kay home. Then click tayo dito. Yan, around dito. Then we'll go heading 2. Then we'll try like a sub-chapter. Let's just name it sub-chapter 1. Then I'll click enter. Then I'll add another header here, header 2. Now let's make it header 3. Let's make it doubles. Now let's make it mini chapter 1. Then I'll just put this and this again. Okay. So nagalaw sa chapter 2 to page 3 kasi dadagdag si sub-chapter 1 and mini chapter 1 dito sa ating page 2. So, we're gonna try to update this again. So first, try muna natin update page numbers only para na makita natin. So, uh, si si chapter 2, tama, nasa page 3 nga siya as of now, pero nasan yung dalawang headers na nilagay ko? Di sila nagpapakita. So to do that, just use update entire table so that yung buong table of contents mo mag-update. Yan. So nasa page 2 ba si sub-chapter 1 and si mini chapter 1? Chapter 2 na sa page 3. Yes, they are both in page 2. And at the same time, you know what heading 2 and heading 3 or heading 4 means. So kapag gumagawa ka ng paper, diba, you have your main chapter, then you have your sub-chapters, and minsan meron ka pang sub-chapter sa sub-chapter mo. So, kung try mo siya i-organize, ganun din si heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Okay? So, this is very useful, lalo na pagdating sa research paper, kasi nga, you always update your research papers, lagi mo nababago, lagi mo nabadagdag bawas. And I think that's about it for table of contents. So we're gonna move on to writing bibliography and writing citations. So for the next part, gagamitin pa rin natin yung same document na ginamit natin earlier para hindi na natin kailangan mag-generate ulit. So in citations, normally you have different kinds. You have your inline citations and such, and after like a research paper, you will need to provide a references table or the bibliography chapter or portion. So, how to cite references, how to cite citations using Word. So, for example, this first part here, for example lang, ito yung kinuha mo sa ibang source, you want to cite this. So, dito sa dulo, yan, dapat yung indicator ko dito sa dulo. So, references, and if you will notice, meron tayo dito, citations sa bibliography. You can choose your style. So, APA, Chicago, IEEE, MLA. Usually, APA ang ginagamit, so let's go with APA. Then, let's go to insert citation, add new source. So, for example, yung section na yun ay nakuha mo sa isang book section. If you remember that may book section. Book section is parang part lang siya ng book. Ito yung may pages from pages 1 to 20, parang ganun. And book is literally a whole book. So, book section. For example, ang author natin is, I don't know, for example, si Juan de la Cruz. Ang title natin is How to Write, yeah, sa baba, How to Write Bibliographies. Author natin, syempre, once again, si Juan de la Cruz. Then, book title natin will be Research 101. And let's just say year will be 20, sumura 0, 2020, pages from page 10 to 20. City is Manila. Then publisher, ang gawin na natin example na dito, Adventure Works Press. Then you click OK. So dito, you have an inline citation, last name ng author, si Cruz, kasi iniwalay ko de la Cruz, so Cruz lang lumabas, 2020. So gawa pa tayo ng isa. For example, dito tayo kay chapter 2. For example, dito naman para, ano, for example, gagawa mo rin siya ng citation. So add new source tayo. For example, ito naman ay literal libro. So ang author natin ay si Pedro Penduko. Halimbawa lang. Ang title natin would be, since this is about a video, let's talk about eff effective usage of videos. So siya lang title. Then ang year natin, for example, for example, medyo luma na siya, mga 2015. Then ang city niya is like Quezon City. Then publisher will be, sabi natin ng APC Press. Then click OK. Once again, si Pedro Penduko. Penduko kasi last name niya, Penduko, and year publication 2015. So for example, nandun ka na sa part na magsasite ka na or ililist mo na yung references mo. So para gawin natin yon, click to bibliography here. Then you can choose yung format mo dito or just simply click insert bibliography. But for this one, we'll just use the first one here. Yan. So ito yung ginamit mo kanina or yung in-input mo kanina sa mga fields kung saan may lumabas na window, prompting you to fill up the fields like author, book title, pages, and such. So, for example, nadagdagan tayo ng reference dito somewhere, sabihin natin kay mini chapter 1. For example, dito then, lagay tayo ng bagong citation. Add new source. Then, for example, journal article. So, ang author natin, kung natin social, kung si Bill Gates naman. And then, title natin will be Secrets of MS Word. Journal name will be Office 365 in a nutshell. Sabi na natin ganun. Year, sabi natin last year lang, since if I'm not mistaken, 2019 version ng MS Word ang ginagamit natin ngayon. Then pages will be like 49 to 50. Okay. So yan, may inline citation tayo ulit. Then here, similar to table of contents, if you want to update yung bibliography table mo, just click update. Ayan, nandito si Bill Gates. Gates B 2019, Secrets of MS Word, Office 365 in a nutshell, 49 to 50. Okay. So, it is very handy na you could just, whenever you add your bibliography, pwede ka na mag-automatic inline citation. You don't have to manually type it. Then, lahat ng citations mo, ma-compile siya sa isang list. So, kapag click mo to manage sources, andito siya lahat. So, andito nga rin yung iba kong ginamit dati. Ngayon ko na napansin. Yes. Andito rin yung mga dati mong ginamit na sources. Then, you could use it again. Then just to add bibliography, dito ka lang. Then if you added some, just update your bibliography. Sounds easy, 'di ba? So, since we're done with bibliography and writing citations, uh, we will move on to demonstrating speech detector. Okay, so for the next part, which I have mentioned would be demonstrating the speech detector, let us open a new document file, which is ito na, nakikita nyo na sa screens nyo. Uh, and then, dapat nandito tayo sa home tab natin, sa ating ribbon. And if you look to the far right, dapat makikita sa dictate. So, before we use it, let's explore it a bit. So, kapag kakaklik ko lang nung drop down, so makikita nyo rito, we have different languages. Ano dyan? English. We have Chinese, German, French, Danish, Dutch. May hindi pa pala. Okay. So, dito, pwede kang gumamit ng kahit anong language as long as nakasulat dito. So, try natin siya later. But first, we'll try English and US English to be precise. So, to activate dictate, click ko yung malaking microphone. Ano yun? Dapat pinakarinig kayo. Then, meron na siyang parang record symbol here. And, it's recording whatever I'm saying. So, it's like what you're doing kapag biglang sinabi nung teacher nyo dati na, okay, okay, class, take one for sheet of paper. Okay, number one. Tapos bigyan mo ka mapapa, ma'am, wait lang. Panic ka kasi di ka makahabol. So, in that sense, dictation works in the same way. Dami niya pala nare-record. So, as I mentioned, so we're gonna try other languages. So, ano ba kaya kung ano? Let's try Spain. Since in Philippine history, Spain ang pinakamalapit sa ating lengguwahe. So, I'm gonna click dictate again. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes. Viva España. Oh, nice pati yun yung nakuha niya. Mi ultimo adios. Okay. So, nakita nyo, so I use Spanish words on the top of my head and it tries to like formulate kung ano yung pinakamalapit na Spanish word or actually it's translating as well. Yeah. So, nakabase siya sa kung ano yung sinasabi mo and it's just try to b- make the best kung ano yung make the best word or form the best word. So, let's go back to English. So, say, hello, Microsoft. Oh, nakabalik na ba ako? Okay, nakabalik. Eh, goodbye, Microsoft. Nice. So, to stop it, just, ayun, may tunog pa din siya. So, si speech detector is one of the newest features sa bagong version ng Office 365. This is very handy, especially for like journalists and students, especially if medyo tinatamad ka na magsulat. Turn on mo lang si dictate, then pabayaan mo lang magsalita yung prof mo, and it will try to record what your prof is saying. So, there you have it. And then we'll be now moving on to resume assistant. Okay. So, we're at the fourth topic, which is the resume assistant. 4 out of 5 na guys. So, dalawa na lang, including this one. Okay. So, I opened up a new blank document for demonstration purposes. Okay. So, in order to use the resume assistant, on the ribbon, dito sa top part, you click review. Then may kita mo siya dito, si resume assistant. Then you click that. Then depende na lang kung gaano siya kabilis or kabagal. Depende sa kung may topak yung internet nyo or what. Okay. So when I was trying this kasi, I already like tested it out. So student intern yung role na kinuha ko. But when you first try this, dapat may tanong siya na what role and industry you would like to see examples for. So I just chose student intern kasi parang feeling ko yun yung magiging next step ko after or even before graduation. Okay. Then at industry. So industry, we're talking about engineering, IT, accountancy. So I'll just stick ko kung ano yung saan ako naka-enroll ngayon. Information technology. Again, information technology and services. Okay. So, si resume assistant, since powered siya ni LinkedIn, if you don't know what LinkedIn is, it's siyang, para siyang Facebook pero in a more professional sense. Dito rin kasi naghahanap na rin yung mga companies ng mga pwede lang i-hire. May feature kasi rin si LinkedIn na pati yung pag-job hunt pwede mo gawin sa kanya. At the same time, maganda na as of like, I will assume na most of you are like grade 11 and college freshmen. It is maganda na as early as now, mapabango nyo na yung LinkedIn profiles niyo. So, if wala pa kayong LinkedIn, hindi nyo pa naayos, take the time to do so. It can help. Okay, so going back, nag-generate siya ng work experience examples. So, pwede ko pa siya i-filter dito by top skills. So, these are languages, programming languages. So, bahala ka na kung gusto mo gawin niya. So, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. And then, I'm gonna like read an example. Yeah. Student intern in e-commerce department, March 2015 to June 2015. Manage the different e-commerce websites, Tenkapak and Stockback Depot, regularly update, manage AdWords, analytics accounts, utilize Excel, PowerPoint skills, utilize web traffic, blah, blah, blah. So, at this point, alam mo na base doon sa kanyang binigay na examples, it's already giving his or her work experience at yung ginamit niyang technologies to sa kanyang nagamit before. So as much as would you expect in a resume, except that this is more like constructed properly. So let's try that. Working student, internship and project lead. Yeah, August 24 to June 2016. So Motus is a German R&D startup company. It solves technical develops products for such talent pool while senior students, academic research, blah, 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 blah. So, based from this, what I can say is nagtrabaho siya kay Motius, which is a German research and development startup company, kung saan doon niya nakuha yung experiences niya, in which doon din kukuha ng information yung mga magiging future employees, basta yung mga future ng companies na pwede niyong mapasukan. Yan. So, top skills for student intern. So, since sa information technology ako, Java, Python, C, JavaScript. Of course, feedback. Some articles to help to write resume. Yan. How don't use these words. So, per, So just trivia lang, no. So may main difference si resume tsaka si CV, si curriculum vitae. Usually kapag fresh grad, resume ang binibigay kasi wala pa tayong experience fresh grad nga. And usually ang resume is just a one-page document. Unlike a curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae talaga dun nakalagay parang siyang talang buhay mo. Lahat ng pinasukan mong workshop, lahat ng pinasukan mong companies, lahat ng work experiences, work experience mo, dun mo siya ilalagay. Okay. In the technical writing stuff, wala akong masyado may tutulong. I'm not that really good in terms of technical writing. But there are articles and ways for you to learn. So just a little side note. Okay. So dito, let recruiters know or get started on LinkedIn. So basically, yung nagtatrabaho ni resumes is it gives you these examples as sort of an inspiration na pwede mong pagbasihan when you start making your own resume. Okay. So we'll be moving on to the last topic, which will be writing or adding e-signatures to your Microsoft Word documents. Hi. So we are our own the last topic of this demonstration, which is how to add your electronic signatures. So before we start, discuss natin konti but importante na magkaroon ka ng e-signature at this time. So as we all know, since the COVID-19 basically prohibited us to have face-to-face conversations and interactions, everything now is online, distributed online. That includes photos, videos, images, even documents, and documents na kailangan mong pirmahan. Official documents, in fact. So, paano yun? Di mo naman, di naman pwede siguro na kailangan mo pa siya i-print. Like, print mo, pirma, scan, tapos, i-ano mo, bagay mo dun sa kailangan mo ipagbigyan. It's kind of sounds hassle. Ang dami mong steps na kailangan pagdaanan. So, why not just, add e-signature, right? Siguro nung simula ng term na kapag receive kayo ng or kailangan nyo pirmahan yung RAM Declaration of Conduct, which was my first experience in adding e-signature, talagang kailangan na. Okay, so moving on. I have prepared a new blank document for this demonstration. So, before we get started, lagyan mo na lang siya laman para kung may pipirmahan talaga tayo. Example lang naman. So, once again, gagamitin natin si mahiwagang lorem ipsum dolor. Talaga mahiwaga siya. Oops. Yan. Lagyan pa natin isang enter. Excuse me. Okay. So, for example, ito yung document na pipirmahan na natin. For example lang, walang ano. So, in order to add a signature, first we must add a signature line. So, sa ribbon, you click Insert. Then dito, may signature line. Click Signature Line. And may pop-up window na lalabas. So, first is the suggested signer. So, pangalan ng pipirma. So, for example, ako yung pipirma ng document na to, na wala akong maintindihan kasi Latin. Huwag niyo gagawin yun, guys. Huwag kayo pipirma ng official document na hindi nyo naintindihan kung ano yung nakasulat doon. Because what it means is you will agree to whatever that is written on that document. Okay? Next is the title ng pipirma. So, for example, director ng school, principal ng school, manager, doktor, engineer, mister, miss, mrs. So, yun mga example ng title. So, I'll just leave this blank. Same for the email address. I'll also leave this blank, but it's email address. Ay, lagay mo ng email address din nila if you want. Then you have instructions. Before signing this document, verify that the content you are signing is correct. Then may checkbox dito, allow the signer to add comments in the sign dialog and show sign date in the signature line. I always, kahit matagal, I always want to laging i-add yung pirma, yung date sa pirma ko. Especially kung kailangan. But I'll just leave this as default and just put my name. If you're done, click OK. And voila, may lalabas na signature line dito. Parang nga siya yung sinasabi lagi, signature over printed name. So to add yung actual signature ninyo, click this X, double click it. Then before you add signatures, you must save the document file that supports digital signatures. Do you want to save? So you need to save it first. So for example, sabihin na natin example yung title natin. So may lalabas na ganito. You have two choices. 3 if you use if you're on a tablet or on a phone. So you can either type this, your name here, which I will not recommend kasi parang nagano ka lang. Tinype mo lang ulit yung name mo. Or if you have like a scan version of your e-signature, select image, form a file, from a file, then find your e-signature. So here is mine. Okay, then sign. For tablet users, there's supposed to be a start inking option kasi pwede mo gamitin yung pen tool para i-manually write your signature mo on the screen. Unfortunately, I am using the desktop version. So, wala siyang feature na ganun. So, I'm just gonna use yung aking scan na pirma. Can I be verified? You want yes. Kapag may ganito, just yes. Your signature has been successfully saved with this document. If document is changed, your signature become invalid. Yan. So, nakapag-embed ka na ng iyong signature sa isang document file. Now, what if may kailangan kang baguhin? Well, kapag may binago ka, you will need to edit anyway, pero mawawala yung signature mo. Yan. So, let me just re-add my signature real quick. Yes. Yan. Kasi, syempre naman, kapag may pinirmahan ka na, diba, hindi mo na pwede baguhin yun kasi agree ka na doon. Also, kapag pirmado na yung document file, sa bottom here, sa tabi ng language, dapat may makikita kang icon na yun. This document contains signatures. Okay. So, there you have it. That's how you add e-signatures. So, there you have it. To summarize, in this Microsoft 365 learning session, we have discussed how to make table of contents, how to write bibliographies, and how to cite citations, how to use the speech detector and the resume assistant, and how to add e-signatures to your Microsoft Word file. I hope that you have learned from this session, and whatever discussed here will be used to your future endeavors. I really hope that you have learned a lot and enjoyed. So thank you very much for staying, and I will now pass on the stage to the next speaker. Have a great day, everyone.
Alright, thank you very much, Erwin, for that insightful talk and demonstration on Microsoft Word. It will surely be much easier for us to make our upcoming research papers with the techniques that you have provided to us. Moving on to our second speaker, he has recently been promoted to the gold level of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. He is also taking up the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, specialized in mobile and internet technologies. And he is currently the president of Asia Pacific College Microsoft Community. Let us all welcome Mr. Romel Ormita for his talk and demo in Microsoft Outlook.
Thank you, Lems, for that wonderful introduction. So let's start na sa ating second topic, which is Outlook. So before we start, let me introduce to you myself. And I'm Romel Ormita. I'm a third-year college student, currently taking Bachelor of Science in Information Technology at Asia Pacific College. I am a SM Foundation Scholar. I am a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, Events and Marketing Committee Head of the Junior Information System Security Association, APC, or JISA APC. And I'm also the president of APC Microsoft Community. And if you have any questions after my talk, you can contact me through my social media or my personal email here. So let's start na sa topic. Simulan natin dito sa email etiquette. And so according sa University of Houston, it refers to the principle of behavior that one should use when writing or answering email messages. So, of course, in terms of replying or composing an email, there is a proper way on how to compose or create an email message. And ayan nga, merong certain behavior na dapat na gawin in terms of emailing someone. Ayan. So kasi in terms when emailing, you have to be kasi formal and respectable in terms of creating a message. So first naman is you have to remember is have a clear subject line. And so dito sa email na to, as you can see, is meron akong nire-report na issue sa aking profile, sa student ambassador profile, which is yung SA, ay meron kasi akong validation issues sa pag-update ng profile ko. So, ayan. So, meron yung nilagay kong subject line is yung about sa email content ko is yung about nga sa validation issue sa profile. So, yan nilagay ko SA profile issue. Ayan. So, kasi ang ilalagay mo dapat sa subject line mo is yung ano yung content ng email mo or what yung summary ng email mo. Ayan. So, dito nilagay ko SA profile issue. And you have to remember or always remember na to put a clear subject line. Kasi dapat yung hindi mahaba, yung saktong mababasa agad pag na-receive mo na yung email. And ayun, so don't forget then to have a subject line kasi if your recipient ay naka-receive ng email tapos walang subject line, either baka hindi niya lang pansinin kasi nga walang subject line na nakalagay. Ayan, so yun, always have a clear subject line. Next is introduce yourself. So, when it's your first time emailing someone, you have, of course, to introduce yourself. Dito kasi sa email na to, yung person na in-email ko is sa ibang bansa pa. So, I have to introduce myself then na I'm from the Philippines and also a student partner kasi yung sasandan ko is yung part ng program. And so, in-introduce ko yung sarili ko. And yun nga, after nun is you have to, after introducing yourself, you have to, state your query or your question. And so dito kasi, yung tungkol sa email na to is yung mag-ask sana ako kung pwede ma-update tong event na sana ako organizer para ma-upgrade ako sa certain milestone dito sa program na to. So, yun yung ginawa ko sa email. So, ayun nga, in-introduce ko muna yung sarili ko and then yung query. Ayan. So, yun lang, parang you have to take note na when it's the first time, it's your first time emailing someone and hindi ka kilala, so you have to introduce yourself after yung request or yung query mo. Next. Be careful with the confidential information. So, when you receive an email na merong gantong notice, communication confidentiality notice, then you have to parang hindi mo siya dapat i-share sa ibang tao. So, kung ikaw naka-receive ka ng ganyan sa isang tao, sa email, is dapat kayo lang yung nakakaalam and you don't share it to anyone. But in terms naman na you have you're part of the email thread and merong gantong confidentiality notice, is kailangan dapat kayo lang nakakaalam ng email thread na to or hindi to nagli-leak sa iba. Next is know your recipients. Dito sa situation na to, yung isang student, yung itong student na to is napindot niya yung reply all imbes na reply sa isang email na sa lahat ng college student. Dito kasi yung student is meron siyang inquiry na walang email sa ganito yung isang student. And dapat kasi yung gantong message is dapat personal na and kailangan doon mismo sa registrar. Yung recipients dito is all college students. So nung nag-reply yung student na to, na-reply all niya, na-receive din namin yung message niya doon sa registrar. Ayun lang. So dito yung lesson lang is You have to be aware lang when replying to an email. Kasi, syempre once na nasend mo na, wala nang balikan yun. So, ayun. Always be careful when sending an email to someone. So, makikita nyo dito is yung buttons or yung UI ng mail sa Windows. So, dito yung may reply. So, magre-reply ka lang sa certain na tao. Pag reply all naman, lahat ng mga naka-CC or naka-to is makaka-receive na message. Pag reply all. So, yun yung nangyari kanina. May naripindot niya yung reply all. So, na-receive din namin yung message niya na dapat sila lang nung registrar nakakaalam. Sorry. Ayan. So, next yung forward. Ayan, alam naman natin. And ito naman is yung ano lang yan, dark mode or light mode. And ayan. So, dito is yung Outlook Online naman, yung interface ng mga buttons na yun, sa parehas lang naman yung reply, nakita niyo yung similarities. And ito, reply all yung double arrow na sa left and yung forward naman, yung straight arrow pa right. And yung ellipsis is yung sa settings pa ng email. And itong like is yun. And, it doesn't necessary naman, it doesn't need naman parang acknowledgement message. So, okay lang na kahit i-like mo na lang. And so, pinapakita ko to is, of course, you have to familiarize din. Kasi may mga students pa rin, tulad ko din na napipindot na yung reply imbis na yung reply all. Ayan. So, you have to be aware and careful. Pag in terms naman na dapat lahat ng taong to sa email thread na to dapat makaalam, then you can use reply all. Pero kung to a certain person lang, then reply lang. Next. Ayan. So, dito, if you're sending an email into a recipient na alam mo yung position, na alam mo engineer siya or doctor or attorney, then you have to indicate. Ayan. So, ito yung mga examples ng mga honorifics. And if you don't know kung ano yung specific positions na, then you can use this general honorifics. And actually, ang kalimitan na ginagamit dito is Mr. and Miss. Kasi ang Mrs. is hindi mo rin naman alam kung yung certain na babae is kasal na or hindi. So, it's better na lang to use yung Miss kasi para safe. Ayan. So, next naman is when replying naman to someone na kilala ka na and you don't need to introduce yourself, then yung message na i-reply mo is keep it short and simple. Ayan. So, dito, nag-send kasi sa akin ng PowerPoint yung colleague ko sa organization. So, ayan, nag-reply ako ng thank you for sending the PowerPoint presentation. And meron kasi akong concern. So, if you have concerns, pwede mo rin i-indicate dyan. So, part lang siguro yung thank you kasi to acknowledge the email na na-receive mo yung PowerPoint. So, dito naglagay din ako ng concern na na merong certain problem in accessing the PowerPoint. So, you have to diretsuhan na sabihin na merong problem. Hindi mo na kailangan paikot-ikot pa kung ano yung problem regarding dun sa sinend. Dito naman is sa second message is pag mag-send ka ng email lang na may mag-send ka ng email na mayroong attachment, for example, document or PowerPoint, ang kailangan meron pa rin siguro short message na nakalagay na yun nga, parang attach in this email or the documents for blah blah blah. And so dito attach here with are my outputs. And so dito kasi nagpasa ako ng requirements sa subject namin. So you have to put din kahit short message lang kasi it is not formal to send a file attachment na walang message. And so next naman is yung always include a signature. When kasi composing an email or replying to someone, you always have to include a email signature para makilala ka ng recipient mo na ikaw to, or ayun nga, na ikaw to, and ito yung affiliations mo, ayan, ganyan, ito yung contacts, ayan. So, may dalawang signature, isa merong icon, or picture, and ito yung walang picture. So, mamaya, ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano yung may picture na email signature. Ayan. So, next naman is maximize our Outlook experience. So, I will give you a demo lang, siguro to familiarize lang din the functionality of Outlook. Alam ko marami naman na sa inyo na kahit first time and kinapa nyo na to or ninavigate nyo na to ng kaya lang. Pero dito it's ano lang, to recap lang. Or baka may discover din kayo dito na hindi nyo alam na meron pala sa Outlook. So, let's proceed na sa demo. Sorry. And ito yung interface ng Outlook. And so, profile, ito muna tayo sa taas. So, may profile, ito announcements whenever Outlook have new features, meron dito. So, what's new? And you also have to view them if you want to know what are these new features. And ito sa help, if you ever need help on navigating Outlook, meron dito. Settings for the email settings. Merong dark mode, meron theme, may focus inbox, desktop notification. And meron dito display quality. So, pwede mo siya mabago. Ayan, medium and compact. Pero gusto kasi medium para sakto lang. May notifications din sa email. Ito naman merong to-do or calendar. Dito may kita nyo kung ano yung mga meetings nyo or events sa following days. Dito is merong OneNote. So, merong OneNote plugin si Outlook. Actually, bago lang to eh. So, iti-try natin. Dito, ang OneNote kasi, yung notes mo sa OneNote, pwede mo na siya malagay sa email mo. You just have to drag lang your notes dun sa new message. So, create tayo new message and drag natin yung notes dito sa email na kinocompose natin. Ayan, so nalagay na siya, no? Ayan. So, for example, sa isang situation na nasa labas ka and pauwi ka na, ganyan, or break, tapos may email kang na-receive, pwede ka mag-create muna ng note, ng email dito sa note, ng draft, then pagkadating mo na sa office mo, or pwede mo na lang siya i-drag para at least hindi ka na mag-type uli and drag na lang. So, actually helpful siya. Ayan. So, close natin and Discord. Dito, proceed tayo sa email settings or at Outlook settings. So, dito ang share ko sa inyo is yung kung ano lang alam ko, and I think naman yung kung ano yung share ko is enough na din sa students na malaman para at least makita na gamay nyo din yung Outlook. Dito, yung email signature, ipapakita ko sa inyo kung paano gumawa. And ito kasi, in every email na gagawin mo, hindi mo na kailangan magmano-mano na malagay yung pangalan mo pag sa compose ka ng email. Dito sa email signature kasi, matik na siyang nakalagay. So, in every message, or every email message, meron nang nakalagay. So, hindi ka na magpapakahirap. For example, ito, Romel or Nita, and yan. So, sa yung position ay Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Ayan. So, bold lang natin yung name para presentable tingnan. So, let's save. And so, pag mag-create ka na ng image yan, meron nang nakalagay na Romel or Mita, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. So, every time na gagawa ka ng email, hindi mo na kailangan mag-mano-manong type ng iyong email signature. So, meron ng automated na siya. Ayan. So, ito, further further information sa settings. Ito, automatically include my signature on new message that I compose. Yun, kanina yung nakita nyo, on every new message, malalagay siya. And ito, ito naman next is automatically include my signature and messages I forward or reply to. Kasi pag ito lang yung naka-check, pag mag-forward ka o mag-reply, walang email signature na malalagay. So, nilagay ko rin to para at least automatic din every time na mag-reply ako. Ayan. So, ito ay... Ayan. So, meron din ditong feature na undo send. Actually, it is very helpful sa atin. Na, for example, may namali ka palang message, tas na-send mo na. So, pwede mong ma-undo. Meron ditong undo send. So, meron ditong certain seconds bago i-send ni Outlook yung email mo. So, ito, yung min-maximize ko hanggang 10 yung email para at least pwede ko pa ma-undo siya within the 10 seconds kung may biglang last minute na may na-realize kung may mali sa message. So, very helpful tong undo send. Ayan. Ayan. So, let me show you lang din paano maglagay ng image sa email signature. So, close lang natin. So, kailangan natin kasi mag-open ng Word. So, mag-create tayo ng table. Ayan. So, create tayo table, insert, table. Ayan. So, bakit dalawa? So, yung dalawa to kasi for the image and also for the your name and affiliation. So, dito, sa square, ilagay natin yung logo ng Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. So, makikita nyo pa ang aking mga files. Ayan. So, na-insert na and you have to adjust. Adjust lang natin. Ayan. And ito, so lagay natin yung pangalan natin. Romel or Mita Microsoft Student Ambassador. And so you can also input then your your contacts, for example, your email. And your contact number. And so, ayan, lagay lang natin. Ayusin lang natin yung align para maganda tignan. Ayan. So, bold. Ayan. So, adjust lang natin yung table. Ayan. So, pag actually pwede na siya makopy, pero may mga gagawin pa tayo sa table. Kasi pag kailangan natin tanggalin yung border na black. Kasi pag kinopy nyo yan, may kita din may kita din yung border din na black. So you have to remove. So dito sa table design, then borders, and put no border. Ayan, so once okay na, we have to copy. Control C. Then paste, Control V. Ayan. Ito kasi, hindi kasi nakaka-copy paste din yung image. So, you have to insert din yung picture. Pero kasi, kaya ganun, kinopy paste lang din para at least alam natin yung alignment or saan yung position ng image. So, ayan. So, nag-uli natin ulit. Ayan, no? So, nalagay na siya. So, adjust lang din natin. Ayan. Ayan. Diba? So, actually, okay na. So, we have to save. Ayan. So, bakit kailangan pa Word ng table? Ba't di na lang pwede dito? So, papakita ko sa inyo kung bakit. So, let's close. So, let's close to the, delete. So, let's close. 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 Ayan, so wait lang. Discord. Ay, sorry. So, ulit natin. Ayan. So, gawa tayo ng bago ulit. Yung dito naman. May kita nyo kung bakit. So, ayan, ang laki. So, nag-insert ako ng picture. So, kailangan in-adjust ko. Ayan, so, dito, mababago din yung font size. So, try natin baguhin din yung font size. 9. Ayan, so, Romel or Mita. Ayan. Pero kasi, maka-count lang din kasi siya as one line pag dito lang sa mismong Outlook ko gagawa. So, pag in-enter ko, hindi siya aakyat sa taas. Dito, mag-enter new line siya. So, hindi mo siya ma-adjust. Kung iba-backspace mo naman, mabubura yung image. So, mahirapan ka sa adjustment at alignment. So, it's efficient na gumawa ka na lang muna sa Word and tsaka mo i-copy-paste and insert yung picture. And so, discard natin. Ayan. So, tingnan natin sa compose image kung nandun yung email signature. So, new message. Ayan. So, nandito na. Ayan. So, every time na mag-compose ka ng message, meron ng matic na nakalagay dito na email signature. Ayan. So, let's proceed naman dito sa bottom left. Ayan. So, ginome ko. So, ito naman yung calendar. Punta tayo sa calendar. So, papakita ko lang sa inyo kung paano ma-utilize yung calendar or paano i-navigate. Ayan. So, dito, makikita nyo dito kung ano yung mga certain meetings nyo. Ayan. So, ayan. So, pwede nyo makita yung mga holidays and yung birthdays and ma-adjust yung month. You can also share din your calendar and also adjust. So, dito naman, pag gagawa ka ng meeting, dito ka pupunta sa calendar and ina-navigate, pupunta ka, so you have to navigate dito sa new event sa may top left, new event. So, click. Ayan. Ayan. So, pag gagawa ka ng meeting, makikita mo dito sa gilid is mayroong 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. You are available. So, walang tatamang schedule. So, you have to, you can, adjust that, itong timetable. Timetable ba to? Yung time. So, for example, consultation meeting. Lagay natin. So, you can invite attendees within the organization. Ayan, you can invite kung sino yung mga kailangan doon sa meeting. So, ito, you can set na din the time and date kung kailan yung meeting. Ayan. Merong, actually, every 30 minutes yung interval. Ayan. So, you can, set din as all dates, mawawala yung, yung time. So, kung mapapansin nyo, kung naka-all day, you are unavailable kasi merong matatamaang meeting within that day. So, nakalagay, you are unavailable. Dito naman, you can also customize your meeting. You can set it as every day, every week, every month, every year. And pwede din custom na, for example, within that week lang, merong meeting, you can, you can customize. Ayan. So, for example, it occurs every Tuesday and Friday. Tapos pwede nyo until May 2020. Hanggang May 20 lang. So, for example, hanggang May 2 weeks lang yung meeting yung Tuesday and Friday. So, you can set it. So, you can save. Ayan. So, every Tuesday and Friday until November 20, 2020. So, you can customize. Dito naman, pwede nyo i-include kung anong list within the school kung saan kayo mag-meeting. Ayun ang mentions. So, room finder. Dito naman, you can also set a Teams meeting. So, dito, pag naka-on yung Teams meeting, may matic ng meeting room yan or meetings link. Virtual na yung meeting pag Teams meeting. And so, you can also remind then the attendees kung ilang minutes pwede i-remind sila na mayroong meeting. And you can also categorize the meeting. Ayan. So, you can also customize this category by category. You can also edit the response. And so you can also use the scheduling assistant. So whenever, for example, hindi mo alam kung kailan ka meeting, so you can also adjust din. So you can also look din kung ano yung mga available mong time para mag-meeting. So you can drag kung kailan. Tapos na-adjust yung time. So for example, gusto mong mag-meeting ng 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So nakalagay 3:30 a.m. to 4 a.m. So once na naka-done, malalagay yan dun sa sa kaninang creation ng meeting invite. So dito meron din add required attendee is yung mga required talaga pumunta or yung mga important na tao sa meeting. So you can add in an optional attendee and so add a room. So kung saan magaganap yung meeting. So going back, yun nga, na-set natin as 3:30 to 4 a.m. So once na done, yan, nakalagay na siya dito, 3:30 to 4 o'clock. So yun yung function ni scheduling assistant. So you can also view what are your time availability whenever creating a meeting invite. So you can also add in a description about the meeting or what you can also include what are your agendas. Yan, sa meeting you can also include para at least pagka-receive nila ng invite, malalaman nila kung tungkol saan yung meeting and also the agenda. So, okay, so let's discard. So, balik tayo. So, let's proceed naman sa next functionality ay yung attachments. Dito, bagong feature din to ni Outlook sa pagkakaalam ko. Once and every email na merong attachment na meron kang marireceive, masasave dito sa attachment lahat. So, hindi mo na kailangan isa-isa yung email at i-view kung ano yung attachments na yun. You can use this attachment feature na dito na lang mo tignan kung ano yung mga, kung may gusto kang balikan na attachment. Ayan. So, dito naman sa to-do, para lang siyang task list, mananavigate ka lang, mararoute ka dito sa to-do. So, pag once kasi nakapag-create ka ng task dun sa to-do, manonotify ka rin kasi dun sa Outlook. So, ibalik ko lang. Ayan. So, meron palang nakalimutan akong feature sa settings. Balik lang tayo. Ayan, sa mail. Dito naman ay automatic replies. So, alam nyo naman dito sa automatic replies na for example, makareceive ka ng email, may automatic na merong si Outlook, may magsisend siya ng automatic na message na ginawa mo. So, dito, applicable ng automatic replies whenever merong convocation or naka-holiday yung Philippines, yun, naka-holiday sa lugar kung nasan ka man. So, you can also customize then the time period na kung kailan yung Outlook magsisend ng automatic replies. So, for example, naka-vacation ka ng isang week, pwede mo i-set ng isang week na mag-automatic replies yung Outlook mo. And you can also include these features na yun nga, block my calendar for this period, automatically decline meeting invitations, kasi nga, naka-on leave ka, vacation, or holiday, or walang pasok. So you can also customize din the message na naka-automatic reply. So meron na akong gawa dito. Ayan. So nakalagay, hello, and it's a holiday today. If you need immediate assistance, you can contact me through number, and I will reply to your email after the holiday is over. Dito kasi nakaset siya as holiday. Pero once naman, kunyari, naka-vacation ka, nakalagay, ayan. So, hello, and I'm on vacation. Tapos, lagay mo yung date. Yan. Tapos, I will reply to your email once my vacation is over. Or, yun nga, if emergency or necessary talaga na kailangan mag-reply, nakalagay na if you need immediate assistance, you can contact me through my number. Since naman, di ba, lagi naman natin dala ang phone, contact na lang through phone since kung kailangan talaga. So, you can also include then regards your signature. Ayan. So, dito kung pwede natin ilagay email signature kanina na mayroong picture, pwede. Ay, hindi pwede kasi nga kung mapapansin nyo, walang insert image. So, malalagay nyo lang is yung email signature na walang image. Ayan. Ayan, so actually, ayun na lahat ng uh, knowledge ko regarding sa pag-navigate and the functionality ng Outlook. And I hope uh, na marami kayong natutunan and magamit nyo rin to sa academics nyo, lalo ng online learning ngayon and through email yung pasahan and or through Teams. So and also through communicating din sa mga professors natin, Outlook din. So ayun, sana maging helpful tong na-share ko sa inyo about utilizing Outlook. So thank you for listening and thank you then for watching and attending our event. And so if you have any questions, you can contact lang me sa mga social media ko kanina and also my personal email. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Romel, for that insightful talk and demonstration on Microsoft Outlook. Practicing the proper etiquettes of an email is truly essential when communicating to corporate individuals, as it shows how professional you project yourself to them. Also, these shortcuts can truly save time when emailing important information to the designated people. Now, on to our next speaker. He is currently enrolled in a course of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering at Asia Pacific College and the current Director for Marketing and Promotions of APC Microsoft Community. Let us all give a warm welcome to Mr. Seth Kendall Munar.
Hi everyone! Again, welcome to our Microsoft Learning session, and for this time, we'll talk about the ins and outs of Microsoft technology, which is the MS PowerPoint. Before I start, please bear with me with some minor sound problems. There will be some occasional background noises, so I apologize for those. And let me formally introduce myself. My name is Seth Kendall Armonar. I am a BS Computer Engineering first year student here in APC. I'm also a DOST SCI scholar and currently the Director of Marketing and Promotions in APC Microsoft Community. If you have any concerns about my presentation or problems that may occur, please contact me through my email srmonar2 at student.apc.edu.ph, which you can see in the screen right now. So let's start. So PowerPoint is one of the most used Microsoft app. It is made by the Microsoft Corporation, and its description is to create, collaborate, and effectively present your ideas. This app is compatible with Windows 10 and Mac OS. PowerPoint may be a diverse app, but what are these usages? There are three general usages for students. PowerPoint can be used as a visual aid for ideas, to keep the attention of your audience instead of just hearing your talk. It also allows the audience to visualize or imagine your ideas through pictures. Maybe if you're talking about inventing a new machine, you can use pictures to highlight main parts of your talk. It can also be used as a layout process, flow, whenever you propose something. Usually, we use this when we present the three basic process flow: input, process, and output. And you can use it to show data through graphs. It is easier to know the trend of your data by showing the graph whether it is decreasing or increasing of pinpoint and data. Now, there are four significances of your presentation that is connected to your audience. So it is important to know what kind of audience that you have. The kind of audience should influence on how you will create your presentation. Analytical are most connected to professions that deals with mathematical data and statistics. Most of the time, you use data and facts in your presentation instead of personal opinions and explanations. Using graphs are great here if you want to show data of economy or any other data that represents an y-axis or an x-axis. Next would be the functional. Functional use focuses on plannings and processes. Your presentation must be procedural or step-by-step. If your audience is composed of event planners, architects, and people dealing with business proposals. If you want to plan an event such as a birthday, a wedding, you can provide a presentation that deals with plans starting from the presentation preparation to the event itself. Next is the intuitive. Intuitive deals with general audience, and a great example is TED Talk. If you want to give the audience a great general idea, make it simple yet impactful. And lastly, personal emphasizes relationship and mutual thinking. This is mostly when you're meeting with friends and having informal discussions. Most of the time, you make sure your feelings known to others to influence the audience. Now that you know how to make your presentation based on your audience, we can talk about how you can design your presentation. Color is needed to make sure you want your presentation readable as possible. One critical point here is the choice of color. If you want the background dark, you can color the text with a lighter color, commonly white. And if you want a lighter color background, you can color the text with a darker color, green. Now, if you see this, you should avoid this since the contrast is low. You can barely see the text that is blended with the background. And here's a short demonstration on how to choose your color wisely. So I have set up here a new presentation. So I have input here APC MSC and a plain background. Now this already has a great contrast. But if you want to use a darker color, let's put here a dark blue. Now, it's hard to see the text if you're far away from the screen. Of course, if you want to change it, you just need to choose a lighter color. Since I choose blue, and we have here the other shades of blue, you can also pick any lighter shade. So you can use this color, or you can use the basic color, which is white. If you want a very light background, if I choose this light orange, now you can't even see the text clearly. Now most of the time you can use this type of shade or this, or most of the time just dark black. But we usually avoid dark black and just go with the much lighter color of black, which is gray. So that is how you initialize your color for your presentation. Next is the text. So text, there are two types of text. So there are two types of font family, sans serif and serif. Serif is a font that has tipped end of this edge of the letters. It is used to mimic ink writing, while sans serif is a basic text that is flat on the edges. What is more formal to use in a presentation, sans serif or serif? In presentation, sans serif is much more formal to use as it is more readable compared to serif, which is formally used in documents. And here are some useful websites to enhance your presentation. Colors.co is a website that generates colors that you can use. Pixabay and Unsplash contains free stock images such as the one we used before, and online PNG tools contains editing tools for editing images such as the color, saturation, contrast, and such. After usage and significance, we will go to saving. There are various ways to save a presentation. There are two options to save your presentation. One is a manual save, and the other is an autosave, which you can turn on and or off, and it will periodically save whenever you add or change an element in your PowerPoint. If you want to save our presentation with custom fonts, go to the File tab and then Options. Then go to the Save tab and click the Embed fonts in the file. What is embed font? What is embed fonts? These are fonts that are not saved in the font database of Microsoft. Most of the time, you download fonts from font.com that are made by other people. With this, you can see your presentation in the custom fonts instead of having the default font if it is not present in your font database. You can also encrypt your presentation with the password if you do not want other people to open, view, and edit your presentation when transferring it. You can always also choose the always open read only if you want others to only view the presentation, limiting the editing. And you can also save your presentation in your OneDrive. When you connect the app to your email, you can connect your student email to automatically save it in your OneDrive. To have another demonstration, let's go to uh, our new presentation. Here, you can see the autosave on the top left corner of the screen. You can click on, then you can choose your presentation, then add your name. So let's say new presentation, then click OK. Now you just have to wait to name your document. Then what also autosave helps you is whenever you try to close your presentation and you don't actually save it, autosave will actually help you saving your last edited document. Now let's go to File. To embed fonts, you have to click Options, and once you go to the save, just go to the bottom of the screen, and you can see there here is the embed fonts in the file. When you click this, you have two options: embed only the characters used in the presentation, or embed all characters. Now, the most optimal option you can use is only the characters used in the presentation. This help limits the file size of your presentation if you have a presentation that is 50 slides or a 60 slide, or if you want, you can embed all characters, which is helpful if you want to transfer some fonts to your friend if they don't have it, or convenience wise. And here you can also see if you uh, if you want to protect your presentation, you can just click the protect presentation, then you can encrypt with the password. If I put the password, an example is this. It's not identical. Anyways, you can also always open read only, and you can restrict access from the presentation. Now going back, and our last topic would be the presenter mode. Presenter mode is a special screen usually present in the presenter's monitor that aids through providing presentation tools. You can access it in the slideshow tab, and by clicking use presenter view, you can access this. As mentioned, there are different tools you can use in helping you present. There are three categories: tabs, display, and functions. Let's start with the tabs. Show taskbar reveals your desktop taskbar, where you can go through different apps if you want to exit your presentation. Display setting switches between the presenter view and the slideshow. If you don't want the presenter mode on your screen, you can always go back to just the slideshow. And slideshow ends your presentation in the current slide. If you want to stop your presentation, you can use this. Onto display, we have different screens and display data here. Presentation time shows the duration of your presentation or how long the slideshow has been on. You can view this if you set a limit on your presentation, let's say just 10 minutes. It gives you a reference on how long your presentation is. Then there is a pause button to stop the timer, reset button to bring back the timer to 0, the slideshow screen that shows the current slide, and the current time, which shows the computer's time, which is located on the far right of your monitor. Then beside it, you can view the next slide of your presentation as well as the notes for the current slide, and adjust the note size either to make it bigger or smaller. At the bottom of the main screen, you can control the slide using the previous button and the next button. It also shows you the slide number you're currently in, as well as the number of the slides. You can frame your presentation based on the slide number, or if you will stop on your presentation, you know what slide you stopped on. Last are the functions as highlighted. First is the pointer, which gives you a pointer on the screen. You can change it from a laser pointer, a pen to write on the presentation, and a highlighter if you want to highlight points without overlapping it using the pen. There is an option to collapse your screen to view all slides. Here you can see all the slides you made and form into a gallery. Next is the zoom option. You can use this if you want to focus on an area if your presentation is cluttered, especially when there are multiple topics on one slide. So you can just focus on that specific area. You can also display a black or white screen if you want to pause your presentation or write something on it using the pointer tool. You can use the pen to change the color and such. You can also add subtitles to the slideshow. If you have subtitles prepared, you can check other options here, such as the different tabs, such as hide presenter, view, black or white screen, and settings for your subtitle. You can also end your slideshow here. And to show you and to demonstrate you what the presenter mode looks like, I'll change my screen from here. Now that's the gallery mode. And you can see here the show presenter view. If I click this, my screen would change. And here's what I show you, the show taskbar, which would show the taskbar at the bottom. Display settings would swap the presenter view and slideshow if you have two screens. This is very handy if you have like another monitor or even a projector. Or you can duplicate the slideshow. You can end the slideshow here, and here is the timer. And if I click the pause button, the timer would stop. And if I unpause it, it will go again. And if I click the restart the timer, it would go back to 0. And you would check here the computer's real time. Here's my screen. Here is the next slide. And here is the notes that I have. And I can increase it or decrease it in font. When I click this and then click the laser pointer, it would actually show a laser pointer on the screen. This would reflect on the slideshow. If I click the pen and write here, I would actually write something on that. If I click the highlighter, it wouldn't actually overlap the images you put here in the slide. And you can use the eraser to erase all the screen. It also erases one huge block of ink. So instead of having to erase it per pixel, you can just erase it completely. If you want to click the slides or change the slides, you can just go here. If I want to zoom, if I want to just focus on the 3 categories that I have, you can use the zoom. If I just want to go back to the black screen, you can also use here. And since I told you that you can write here, you can actually put an equation here. So if you're on a math class, you can demonstrate different equation and solutions here, just like that. You can't use the highlighter, but you can also use the laser pointer. Then when you go back, there's nothing there since it is a black screen. It's automatically erased. And if I added a subtitle, it would actually put here. Now, you can the subtitle actually could put it automatically when you are talking. So it automatically puts here, and it's inputting what I am saying. So we can also check here. We can hide the presenter view. We can change the screen. We can also change the subtitles where it is located. And we can also end the slideshow. Now, if we want to hide the presenter view, now we'll go back to of course, the slideshow. But I want to stop this. So let's go to the pen. So here. Anyways, we have our last tool that you can help in your presentation. So this is called the Rehearse with Coach. This is only available in the web version of the PowerPoint in the office. You can check it out on portal.office.com. Access it through slideshow and rehearse. So what does rehearse with coach do? It will give you time to present and it will input your voice through your mic. It will track your voice and give different advices such as fillers and pitch. When I tried this out, it gave accurate advices, especially when I said it displays the filler advice. At the end, it displays different data based on your presentation such as the total time you presented, your pace, pitch, originality, as well as if you had any fillers. Then let me demonstrate on how to use the presenter coach. This card. So I am here in portal.office.com. Use this with your APC student email. So when I go here in slideshow, then click rehearse with coach, I would go in a slideshow to present. Then if you allow it, it would start rehearsing. Just click start. Now I am currently talking and it is giving me feedback. So let's say if I say uh, um, um, it's not showing. So let's imagine that the coach actually gave me something. So if I pause it, then escape, it would give me my rehearsal report. So it gave me the summary, the total time I spent, the slides that I rehearsed. It also shows you the originality, sensitive phrases, the pace, which is basically how many words you can say in a minute, your average pace over time. Basically, it gathers data from your previous presentation. It gives you the pitch and also the fillers. So this actually helps you in motivating yourself to talk more. So now let's go back to our talk. So in summary, our talk has been all about presenting and PowerPoint. We discussed the usage where you can create presentation that stands out. We also talk about significance to catch the attention of your audience through a good design. We go in depth with saving your presentation to prepare your presentation if you want to embed fonts, protect, or auto-save your presentation. And lastly, we talked about different tools to aid you in presenting that improves your skills as a presenter. And that is all. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Seth, for that very helpful tips on how we can utilize Microsoft PowerPoint in practicing for our upcoming presentations. It not only guides us but gives us great tips and ideas on how to further improve our presentations verbally and visually. I hope you guys are learning a lot from our great speakers this afternoon. The first few speakers have already gave great insights and presentations to their respective Microsoft applications. Even I didn't know that there were such great tips and tricks that can help me for my academics. Now that we are shifting to digital learning, we should also take this as an opportunity to hone our technical skills when handling and navigating different applications. Well, enough said. Let us move forward to our last speaker for this afternoon on our first Microsoft 365 learning session. Our last speaker is one of our very own Microsoft Learn student ambassadors. She is currently taking up the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Let us give us her a warm welcome, Miss Jan Laureen Manrique.
Good day, everyone. Today I will be talking to you about Microsoft Teams. So, before I start, I would like to introduce myself. I am John Lorene Manrique. I am a second year BS Computer Science student at Asia Pacific College. I am also an Alpha Microsoft Learn student ambassador, and I am the events committee head at APC Microsoft Community. If you have any questions by the end of this session, feel free to contact me at my email, jlmanrique@student.apc.edu.ph. So let's start. So first of all, what is Microsoft Teams? I have here a short video introducing what Microsoft Teams is all about.
We've seen the impact teamwork has had on our world. But what if teams could achieve even more?
To truly do great work, we need people that have different experiences and understand the world from a different perspective.
The thing that's challenging is to make sure that there's a platform for that collaboration. Teams are very liquid. We need to keep up with the way our people like to work.
What if people from different cultures and generations could come together in a more purposeful way, so ideas flow freely and evolve organically? Just imagine what we could achieve. Introducing Microsoft Teams in Office 365.
Microsoft Teams is helping us accelerate and win on Sundays. Now we can share common ideas, common goals.
I'm excited about the ability for people to be engaged in multiple teams and making it very easy for them to not have to go to 15 different places.
Microsoft Teams is a chat-based workspace that gives people one place to connect and create in inherently human ways.
You have that constant thread of communication that you can go back in history and see. It's all right there in a single interface.
Accenture is nearly 400,000 people across 120 countries. To be able to engage and collaborate this way is a big game changer for us.
A way that builds trust and helps create a natural rhythm so ideas flow freely and evolve organically.
There's a lot of communication, there's a lot of data sharing. We're all sort of working towards the same end goal, and that's to build a car that goes out on the racetrack to win.
It's all happening real time in a very frictionless way. That's the way people expect to work these days.
Because it's part of the Office 365 set of collaboration tools, it's part of what we already do. It's the central hub where the conversations happen. It opens possibilities for connection and collaboration that we never thought was possible before.
And it's about empowering them and taking somebody's good idea and making it an awesome idea.
It has truly made us more efficient.
This is exactly what we've been waiting for. This is how we think the world of tomorrow will work.
Welcome to Microsoft Teams. Together, there's no limit to what we can achieve.
So I hope you guys liked the video. Now let's talk about what Microsoft Teams is all about and what it has to offer. So Skype Teams is a chat-based workspace within Microsoft Office 365 that acts or serves as a central hub for workplace conversations, collaborative teamwork, video chats, and document sharing among organizations such as Asia Pacific College. Now, Microsoft Teams has three characteristics. It is that Microsoft Teams is collaborative, secured, and integrated. With Microsoft Teams, members of an organization can collaborate with each other through messages, calls, video meetings, and file sharing. Now, file sharing is where you can share and edit files in a one-on-one chat, a group chat, or even through a team channel. The next characteristic of Microsoft Teams is that it is secured. Now, Microsoft Teams enforces a team-wide or organization-wide two-factor authentication and encrypts data that is either in transit or at rest. Now, Microsoft uses industry-standard technologies such as TLS and SRTP to encrypt all data that is in transit between a user's device and Microsoft's data center. The data that is usually encrypted includes messages, files, meetings, and other content that members have shared throughout their organization. Now, the last characteristic of Microsoft Teams is that it is integrated with other Office 365 applications such as Word, Excel, OneNote, PowerPoint, and Planner. Now, this makes it easier to create files in Microsoft Teams that can be shared throughout members of your organization or other members of your team's channel. Now, there are two ways of accessing Microsoft Teams. You could either check out Microsoft Teams online in browser, or you could use the desktop version. Now, when you're using browser, you just have to type in email.apc.edu.ph and log in with your given APC email. And once you've logged in, there is usually a list of apps that is showcased at the center of the web page. But if it is not available, you could check out the drop down button located at the upper left of the web page, and there you'll be able to see the different apps such as Outlook, Word, and Microsoft Teams. So I'll be giving you a short demonstration on how to find Microsoft Teams in browser. So to access your Microsoft Teams web app version, you just have to type in email.apc.edu.ph. So you could use any Microsoft email, but for this session, I'll be using my APC email. So let me just type my password. I use two-factor authentication for a more secured account. So let me just type in the needed codes for this. Okay, so now I've signed in. So once you've signed in, you'll be able to see the different files you've accessed recently, and at the left corner or at the left side, you'll be able to see the different apps that you could use while in Office 365. There's also a drop-down button here with the list of different apps and list of different documents. So to get to Microsoft Teams web app version, you just have to look for the Microsoft Teams logo. And you'll be redirected to a new tab. So I have to type in again the codes. So once you're done signing in again, you are usually redirected to this reminder right here. So it just asks you if you want to continue using the web app version or do you want to use the Windows or desktop app. But for this demo, we'll be using the web app version instead. So this is what the Microsoft Teams web app version looks like. So I won't go into further details regarding the functions of each button here or each function of this Microsoft Teams, since I'll be doing a demonstration again later, but for Microsoft Teams desktop app. So I'll go back to my PowerPoint for a bit and then continue discussing later. So that is how you could access the web app version of Microsoft Teams. If you want to use the desktop app, you could usually locate it at the taskbar, or you can search for it at your start menu. And this is what Microsoft Teams looks like for the desktop app. So I'll be showcasing, for now, I'll be showing a demonstration on what the different features of Microsoft Teams is using my desktop app. So when signing in your desktop app, you'll be asked to log in using a Microsoft account or email. So let me just type mine in. So I have to complete the two-factor authentication first. So let me just pause. So I actually highly encourage the two-factor authentication since it helps add another security layer to your logging process, and this helps reduce the chances of your account getting hacked. Okay, so now that we're logged in, okay, so this is what the desktop app of Microsoft Teams looks like. So these are the teams that I'm part of, or these are the teams that I belong to. Some of them belong to subjects that I'm enrolled in, but there are other teams here that belong to school organizations such as APC Microsoft Community. So as you can see that all of the team names here are in bold text. if uh, if a team names in bold text, it means that there is a new notification. So for example, for my Comet 1 for my Comet 1 team, I have two new notifications that I have to check out. So if you want to join or create a team, you just have to click on this button right here, right in the upper right corner, and then you'll be directed to this page. So there are already other teams that I could join. So for example, I could join the team for School of Engineering, APC Coral. And there is even a team here for, or there are teams here for Frosh Night. So ABC Frosh Night is an event for freshman students in Asia Pacific College. You also have a choice if you want to join a pre-existing team. You could just ask for the team owner about the team code, or you could create your own. So I'll be showing you guys how to create your own team. So first off, you have to think of the name. So since this is just a demo, right here, demo. So description, this just for demonstration. So now I have to choose the privacy setting of my team. So if I choose private, only the members I add, or only the members that team owners have added can join this team or can access this team. But if I choose the public setting, anyone in my organization, so basically anybody in Asia Pacific College, could join or access this team. So since this is just for demonstration, I'll choose the private setting. I also have the option of using existing teams as a template for my team. So I just have to click on this and then choose which of the following teams I want to copy. So I'll try copying. Uh, Not sure which of the follow. Let's say I'll try to copy APC Orgfair 2020 icons. Choose team. See here. So now I get to choose which of the following teams which of the following settings of the APC Org for 2020 teams I want to copy for my team. So it's either I copy the channel. I couldn't copy the channels, but I could copy the tabs, team settings, and the apps. I could also choose to copy the 758 members, but since this is just demonstration, I will only choose two. So since I've shown you how to use other teams as template for your own teams, I'll just cancel this and create my own team and design it the way I want it. So demo description. This is just for demonstration. Sorry. So private, then we go click next. So now I have to add members to my team. So I'll be adding two of my classmates, which I already asked permission from to include in this demo. So and there we go. So I'll be adding them. So this section right here, the drop down button, this is where you get to decide if you want to include the members as just regular members, or you could ask them to become team owners. So, but for now, I'll just stick with members. So this is what our demo team looks like. So we could also change the team picture. So you could choose between the avatars that are available here, or you could upload your own. So let's try choosing this avatar. This may take a while. So because of the internet connection, I'll just stick with the original picture. So underneath the picture is the team name, and next to it are the different options that you could do to your team. So you could either add the channel, add a member, you could leave the team, edit your team, or manage tags. You could also delete the team, but we won't do that. No, we don't do that here. So underneath the team name is the general channel. So the general channel, one of its features is that this is where you could see which of the following members have joined your team or have left your team. But other than that, this is where members can also create general discussions or general announcements. So channels are basically sections within a team that keeps conversations organized. Usually they're organized by topic, projects, or different functions. So I'll try to create a channel right now. So channel name, let's just add here demo channel. Demo. So since the description is optional, I won't add a description anymore. So just like what we did when we created a team, we also have to choose the privacy setting for this channel. So there is standard and private setting. So the standard setting means that this channel will be accessible to all of the members of the team. But if I choose this channel to be in a private setting, only the certain members of the team can access this file or this channel. I'll create both, but for this channel, I'll choose the standard setting and just create another one for the private setting. So since I chose the private setting for this channel, I have to add members that can access the data shared here. So it's either Trisha or Sharamay, and since I'll just choose Trisha, add her, and then just like earlier, I can also choose if I can set Trisha to be an owner or just a member. So just remain with member. Okay, so in Trisha's perspective and my perspective, we could see three channels, so general, demo, and private demo. But for Shara May, her perspective consists of only two channels, which is general and demo. And if you find a lock icon next to a private channel name, it means that you've been added to a private channel. So usually it's just the team owners and members that could see private demos. So yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Sorry. So now at the top bar here, this is where you could add tabs, post, like you could post here, add your files here, and you can create another tab. For example, usually professors use this as an assignment tab. So like this is where students can check out all of the assignments that they need to pass for this subject or what. So for this tab that I'm creating, I'll just add here OneNote. So for example, I want to use OneNote as a means of updating my team members for a project we're creating. So I could just OneDrive for business is not. Wait, I'm trying again. Okay, so I'll have to create a demo and save. Sorry for the wait. Okay, so let's say that I want to update them. So for week 1, updates, so that whenever a team member wants to check out what they have to do next or what are the updates on other members, they could just go to this tab right here and check out the OneNote that I've added. And for Files tab, this is basically the SharePoint of your or the cloud, the storage for your group's files. So for example, I created a OneNote tab here, but it is also located since it is a file uploaded to your Teams channel. So like I mentioned earlier, Microsoft Teams is integrated with other Office 365 apps. So you could just, instead of having to open your Word document, you could just create a new one right here in Microsoft Teams. Sorry, since my laptop's very slow. So, I don't know. So enter your new name, sample Word. Great. So you wouldn't have to open your Word application. You could just edit and create your own files in Microsoft Teams here. So if you find it easy, like if you're not used to the format of the Microsoft Online, Word Online, you could choose to edit it in browser, but you won't have to save your file in the desktop app anymore, in your desktop anymore. You could It's still connected to the OneDrive and Microsoft Teams. So as long as it's saved, if you're editing the same file in Microsoft Teams, your members would still be able to get updates on the changes you made, even though you're editing your file in the desktop app of Word, or in the browser version of Word. Sorry, sorry if I'm beginning to stutter. So I'll just close this first. So let's go back to the posts. So if you want to create a conversation, you just have to click this button right here, new conversation. And you could just type, if you just want to type freely, like for example, you just want to catch up, like, hi guys. You just type in your message and send. But if you're trying to post a more important message, so for example, meeting agendas, you could click the format button and then you'll be shown the different types of formats here. So it could just be like a new conversation, or you can actually create an announcement. So for example, if you guys have an important event coming on, or you guys have to discuss something really important and you want them to notice it immediately, you could try creating an announcement. So to create an announcement, you just have to click the drop down button in the new conversation button and then just choose announcement. Then you can decide if everybody in your team can reply or only you and moderators can. So you could, for the headline, you could actually choose different illustrations that could help make your announcement more eye-catching. So you, there are already available background images in Microsoft Teams, but you can choose to upload your own. So for this demonstration, I'll use this background image. So you could type, so for the headline, usually headlines are just short descriptions. So for example, I'll type your meeting. Oh wait, let me think of a good headline. Demonstration. So for a subhead is usually just a sentence that helps expand what the headline wants to talk about or what the headline is for. So since our headline is demonstration, I'll try to create a subhead. So let me see. Hmm. session. And for the message, I'll just type here the different formats that you could try and when you want to start a conversation or when you're making an announcement. So I'll type in sentences that contain bold, italic, underline, strike through, and highlighted words. So let me just type the sentences. So let me just change the format of these words. Sorry for that. Sorry for the background noise. So are we underlined? So I want these sentences to be highlighted even further. So I'll change the font color and the font size. So for the font size, I'll turn the highlighted text into a large. I'll give them a large font size. So these are some of the ways that you could highlight your text. So we have your bold, italic, underline, strike through, and highlight. So when you're creating a conversation, you could also fix the indents of each sentence, and you could also create bulleted and numbered lists. So I'll create a bulleted list first. Then the numbered one. So you could fix the indents on each sentences. So for example, I want it to look like the bulleted list also has a numbered sublist. There we go. So the next format that I want to show is the quote format. So the quote format basically highlights the quote that you want to tell other people, so or you want to share to other people. So I'll be typing here a quote that I loved in Modern Family. So let me just type first. So after typing in the code, so this is what it looks like. It looks like now. It's embedded inside a gray box. So let's say I want to create a link or show a link, add a link or what you could call it to this announcement. Like for example, people want to learn where I got this quote from. So I'll just type here a sentence with a reference link. Wait. I'm sorry, I mean a hyperlink. So let me just type. This is. So you just have to highlight the words that you want to add a link to. So I have here opened a website that shows the different episodes of Modern Family. So this is the abc.com website. Just copy the link. Oh, sorry, I did wrong. So copy it here and insert it. So the word hyperlink turned blue, and whenever you try to hover it, the link that you copied is shown and it is underlined to further highlight that the word you're pressing is a hyperlink. So the other options that or other formats that you could add to your conversation are tables, and you could also mark this announcement as important so that people would know that if they should focus on what they should really read what this announcement is about. So that is it for the different formats. Now I'll show you the different other options that you could add to your announcement or your conversation, such as you could attach a file that is either uploaded from your computer or is in your OneDrive or even from other teams and other channels. You could also add different emojis to further express how you're feeling. So since I'm sort of happy right now, I'll add a smiley emoji. Or you could add a GIF and sticker. Microsoft Teams has a variety of stickers that you could use. Wait, I'm trying to locate the sticker that I loved using when I was in senior high school. Oh, this is it. Ta-da! So I'll just post this demonstration announcement. So now this is what the announcement I created looks like. So there is an attachment at the very bottom of the announcement that shows the website that I hyperlinked earlier. Now there's also another feature in this conversation. For example, announcement. Wait, I'm trying to locate it for can't find it kasi sorry. But there's actually another feature in Microsoft Teams where you could send praise to your fellow members. So for example, I want to send praise to both Shara May and Trisha for participating in this demonstration. So I just have to choose which badge, why am I praising them? What am I praising them for? And then it sends us an announcement and tags both of Shara May and Trisha Tolentino. So next I'll be showing you the meeting on so for meetings in Microsoft Team, you could either schedule a meeting for, let's say, tomorrow, next week, next month, or you could schedule a meeting for right now. Now, before I start the meeting, I'll show you guys the different shortcuts that you could type using this search box right here. So aside from looking up different names, for example, our Microsoft, our org president, Miss Jennifer Arroyo, I could also, for example, I could also change my status in Microsoft Teams. So as of now, it says here that I am available. So you guys could chat me, you guys could call me, or basically disturb me in any way while I'm using Microsoft Teams. But if I don't want to be disturbed, I could just change my status from available to busy, or I could change it to do not disturb. There we go. So as you can see, this little circle right here used to be green, that shows that I'm available, but it turned into a do not disturb sign. So those are just some of the shortcuts in your command box. So I'll try to start a meeting for right now. So before joining a meeting, you'll be taking to the lobby so that you could adjust your settings. So for example, if you want to unmute your mic first, you want to mute it, you want to open your camera or close your camera, or if you want to add a virtual background to your open cam meeting. So I'm just open my camera. So hi guys. So as you can see, my background consists of a white wall and the switch. So if I wanted to hide that, I could just look up the different virtual backgrounds that are available in Microsoft Teams. So during the APC Ori Fair, our organization, ACMSC, created a virtual background that makes it look like you're inside the Microsoft Hub in the APC campus. So there. So right now it looks like I'm inside the APC Microsoft Hub. So since I've already unmuted my mic, I've already opened my camera, I've chosen my virtual background. Now I'm prepared to join the meeting. So, oh wait, before I get to connect, I could adjust the microphone settings and speakers, all that. So this is what it looks like now since I'm the only one inside the video. So I'll close my camera now since I'm really camera shy. Okay, so the first, in, as you can see here in the top bar, you could you could see the number of participants that are currently in the meeting, or you could actually find suggestions of, like for example, other members who haven't joined yet or have failed to join your meeting. So you could click here for request them to join so that they will get alert like there's a current meeting and I want you to join. So the next tab is for the meeting chat. So this is if you don't want to disturb the presenter or anybody in the meeting, so you could just type in your thoughts, your answers, or anything you want to say or contribute to the meeting. Next to it is the raise hands button. So for this is often used in online class. So for example, when your professor asks you to have oral recitation and the, if you want to answer the questions that he just said or he or she just said, you could raise your hand to alert your professor that you want to answer his questions. So, oh yeah, and whenever you raise your hand, it, it'll notify in the in the participants section so that the teacher could see the list of students or list of members who want to recite. The different actions that Microsoft Team offers is meeting options and meeting notes. So for meeting option, this is where you can figure arrange the people who can bypass the lobby or who can present during your meeting. So for example, you have school, you want to be able to be the only one who can present the PowerPoint for this class, this meeting. So you choose only me. But if it's a group presentation for class, you could just choose everyone or people in my organization. Now, there's also an option for allowing attendees to unmute. So if throughout the whole meeting you want attendees to just stay silent or you do not want to be disturbed throughout your lecture, you can you can disable this button that does not allow attendees to unmute their mic. So the next set of options or functions for Microsoft Teams meeting is the number of people in your gallery. So when you're joining a class, before the teacher can participate, about a grid of a 9 by 9 grid filled with the different students fill up your screen. So if you're in an event, so for example, the recently held APC Org Fair, we were about to take a picture with students turning on their cameras. So to be able to take the a very large number of students in just one frame, you would choose the large gallery option. So it can hold up to more than 10 videos, so that you could entire class when you want to take a picture, or you can choose together mode. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen example of together mode, but together mode is usually having a single background or a single virtual image, but filled with the different students who have their cameras on. So you guys will be sharing the same virtual background. I'll try to show a picture later of us during in a together mode, but I still have to find it. But that's basically it for the different actions in Microsoft Teams. So the last feature that I want to show is the share content button. Let me see. Okay. So I have here the option to either to just share my desktop, share my window, share a PowerPoint, or a whiteboard. So there are two ways of presenting your PowerPoint in class. It's either you could present using desktop, but if you use desktop, you won't be able to see the participants in a meeting since Microsoft Teams will be hidden. But if you try to upload your PowerPoint in Microsoft Teams, wait, I'll show you a demonstration of what I mean. Wait. So if I try sharing the Windows version of PowerPoint, this is what it looks like. So I have no idea if other students are raising their hands or have said something in the chat box. So let me just stop presenting. So it'll be easier for students to just present by uploading their PowerPoint in Microsoft Teams. So with this setting, since I just uploaded the PowerPoint in Microsoft Teams, I'm still able to see which participants are raising their hand during my presentation. So there's also a feature in Microsoft Teams where students can navigate forward advance if they want to go ahead and check out the rest of the remaining slides without having to disturb the presenter. So But usually presenters could prevent participants from moving forward with the presentation on their own. And if you can see the stop presenting button here, for participants, usually it shows the button that is located there is give take control button. So like if you want to present the PowerPoint and without having to ask the presenter to change to another slide, you could just take control so that they could be the one to present. So I'm basically giving control of the entire presentation to another classmate. But they can't just take it freely. There are times when you still have to ask permission to take control. But there are also times when you could just freely take it. But this is really dangerous, especially if you're a teacher presenting a lecture, since students could just take access and destroy the lecture. So I'll stop presenting already. Okay. So that is it for the Teams meeting. So for this button right here, since I'm the host, I could decide whether to just leave the meeting or I could end the meeting. So if Trisha and Shara May were also in the meeting and I just decided to click leave, they would both I would leave the meeting, but both Shara and Trisha would remain inside this meeting. But if I choose to end it, all of us will basically leave the meeting immediately. Everyone remaining in the meeting would leave. Now, this option is usually reserved for the host, so that no, so that unless the host is has stopped presenting or the host says it's okay to leave for everybody, nobody could disturb or end the meeting accidentally. So I'm gonna end this now. So that is it for the introduction or demonstration for Teams. Now I'll be discussing this sidebar here. So this sidebar contains tabs for activities, teams, assignments, chat, calendar, calls, or files. So in activity, this is basically the notification bar about the different activities that are happening throughout your team. So for example, you'll be notified if there are new assignments or returned assignments in your teams. And for teams, this is basically it just directs you to the list of teams you're included in, or the first page that we saw. And for the assignments tab, this is where you get to see all the assignments from the different, for example, let's say subject teams. They're all organized and are organized by which assignments were given first and not by their due date. So I'll be showing to you guys the chat tab. So I created this sample chat earlier, so it also contains the same participants, Sharami and Trisha. So in this group chat, you could also video call or just audio call with your team, and you could also share screen with them. So and then next to those buttons is the list of participants in the group chat. And you could also have the option of creating a pop-up chat so that you could continue chatting with your members but at the same time navigating through the Teams app. So it's basically the same concept with the meetings call. So I guess one of the purpose of the audio and video call here is that you don't have to go through the process of having to create your own teams just to be able to go on meetings with your group mates. So for example, you just want a one time meeting with your group mates, you could just create a group chat instead of having to create your own teams channel. It basically this group chat basically has the same features as creating your own Teams channel. So for the calendar tab, oh wait, you could also create a new chat by clicking on this button right here, or you could also filter chats. Okay, so back to the calendar. So this calendar shows the different meetings that a student might have throughout the week or next week, or basically it's just a list of the upcoming meetings. You could schedule a meeting here or a live event. So for the files tab, this is basically the collection of all the files I've accessed, all of the files in my Teams channel for different subjects. So these are the recent files that I've accessed. So I could arrange it by the date of modification, the name, alphabetical, or the type. So like Word files first, then let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. So I could also choose if I want to check out the files I've the files that are in Microsoft Teams or the files I've downloaded. There are also a section here for files that are in cloud storage or are in OneDrive. So this is basically what my OneDrive looks like. So that's it for the very messy demonstration of the desktop app. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So back to the PowerPoint. So for the search tool or the command box, for the search tool, you could use it to find specific messages, files, or people. And for the command box, you could use the slash symbol to basically change your status from, let's say, available to be right back or do not disturb. So it's just a shortcut. You could also change your status using the profile section located at the upper right. So you could also use the command box to check out the latest news or get information about different places without having to leave Microsoft Teams. So here are just some of the commands that you could use in Microsoft Teams. You could set your status as busy, you could call someone, you could see the different keyboard shortcuts. So that is it for the presentation on Microsoft Teams. So before I finish, I would just like to inform all of you that Microsoft Teams also has a mobile application version. So this is what it looks like. So it's very useful, especially if you're on the go or you don't have any access to your laptop or desktop computer. Okay, so that is it for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Wow! Thank you very much, Jana, for that very insightful talk and demo on Microsoft Teams. To be honest, using Microsoft Teams as one of the learning platforms can be truly useful and efficient. It does not only have the option to record the class meetings of our subjects, but you can also directly communicate with your professors when in need or asking questions. It is truly one of the many great collaborative tools that can help towards the learning of students. Once again, thank you very much, speakers, for taking the time and effort in giving us today a great and insightful talk and also demonstration of different Microsoft 365 applications. We have thoroughly learned a lot and we will be using these to our advantage. Unfortunately, we are already at the end of our learning session. How time flies so fast when you are truly learning a lot, most especially with great speakers on our screens. But don't worry, if you have any further questions or need help with anything Microsoft related, please don't hesitate to reach out with our speakers using their provided contact details, as they will gladly accommodate your query. With that being said, this is Lemuel Ian Manuel, your host, leaving us saying, learning never stops when one is truly eager to gain knowledge. With that being said, see you again on our next learning session, Rams. Bye bye!